We are live on YouTube.
All right, this is Todd Moore, Foundation Chair. Let's call to order our January 22nd, 2021 OpenJS Foundation Public Board Meeting.
Hey, great. Welcome, everybody. This is our first meeting of the year. The OpenJS Foundation Board Directory is still the same. The agenda for today, we are going to quickly go through. We'll approve our minutes. We have an update on certification, a CPC update, and an update from the marketing committee. Does anybody have anything that they'd like to add or change on the agenda? Okay, so first up, we have the meeting minutes. These have been distributed out to the board. Would somebody like to make a motion to adopt the meeting minutes from the public session on December 4th, 2020?
Motion to adopt.
Great, thank you, Michael. Do we have a second?
Second.
Oh, I heard Guy. Thank you. All in favor, please say aye.
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 Do we have any opposed? Do we have any abstains? Okay, thank you. The meeting minutes are approved. So first up, an update on certification. Robin, would you like to take us through this?
Sure, happy to do so. Happy New Year, everyone. Apologies for starting late today. Just want to give you all a quick update on the certification. We, as you may know, had a big Cyber Monday sale, so we have a lot of new folks who have signed up. They have a year to take the exam, so we have some great training available, but we also will be doing some more training content on our blog and YouTube channel, so look for that. Again, it's in English and Chinese. And we also have some discounts for members as well as some corporate subscription services available. So if you're interested, please reach out to us. And then, of course, if you're a new member of JavaScript Landia, you also get a 10% discount on your training and certification. Any questions? All right. To the next.
Next up, we have the CPC update. Michael and Chris, and would you like to take us through this?
Sure. So at this point, there aren't any project-related updates, so we can move on to the next page. In terms of things that the CPC has been working on and what's going on, the individual supporter program was recently launched, and when I looked, there was 174 supporters, but I think we'll see on a later slide that there's already closer to 200. And we'd really like to thank Sarah Chips for having led that effort and getting that kicked off. We are starting the election process for the primary CPC director. The new term starts March 1st. Those who are eligible are, CPC members. If you want to follow that, there's an issue open in the repository. If you follow the CPC meetings, we are moving towards a bi-weekly meeting instead of meeting every week, but with the intention of using the same slot in the following week for working sessions as necessary. So using that time to be able to dive in and together spend a bit more time hands-on or getting into more depths on areas as opposed to just reviewing issues. Of course, people can follow and join that one as well, and we look forward to seeing you in those meetings. And as mentioned in the past, we're still working on defining our annual review process. I wouldn't say we're going to complete that anytime soon necessarily, but we are sort of making slow progress on that. And we're currently still focused on looking at growth plans. I think we're removing the growth stage and letting projects in any of the different levels have a growth plan. So that's what I want to update everybody in terms of what's going on with CPC. Of course, I'll mention again that there is a sort of a newsletter that Jory puts out that has a lot of great details of what's happening at the CPC. So if you want to follow it more closely, that's also a great way to get some good information. That's all for me.
Great, thank you. Any questions for Michael or for Chris? Okay, next up, review of the CPC and project charter changes.
Right, so I guess, yeah, this is, I forgot about this. So there was one small change to the charter, which was to fix a typo, so nothing of substance on that front.
Okay, great. Let's see, next up, we have the individual supporter program. Michael or Robin, would you like to take this one?
I can give a quick update. As Michael mentioned, I think we're just too shy of reaching 200. So shout out to anyone who can make us reach that goal for the week. Hint, hint, board members. But most of you are on board. And actually, a lot of you really helped with the creation of the project. We launched December 17th. But what's really exciting is we're working on sort of the next steps. So we are going to flesh out the idea of a passport and starting with certification or with badges. Initially, we'll have the JavaScript Landia badge, which you all have if you have joined. There is a service that the Linux Foundation uses called Credly, and so we can create badges for our projects. And then what we'd like to do is even reach beyond our projects and work with other fabulous JavaScript projects that you all may be fans of, so you can fill up your passport with all your favorite projects. So those will sort of be the next steps. So stay tuned.
Yeah, it should be lots of fun.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, any other questions on this? All right, moving on. Marketing update. Rachel, would you like to take us through this?
Absolutely. So today we're going to be looking at the previous period on some things, but we'll also be looking at end of year things. Brian, do we have is there a website? Is there a slide that was before this, or is this our first slide?
This is the first slide.
Okay, excellent. So these are our OpenJS blog metrics. As you can tell, we had a really great year for the blog, up 75% viewership. I do want to point out we had a really great December when it comes to the blog and the content. Both NativeScript coming on and JavaScript Landia made about 50% of all blog traffic for December. December it can be a sleepier time, not in 2020. So it was really cool to see all of the interest in both of those things. So any questions on blog metrics? If none, we can move on to the next. There's the website. So here is our year-over-year view. What I wanted to point out, what I thought was really cool, is if you look at the tail end of 2019, which is the dotted line underneath the solid line, that spike at the very end was Node plus JS Interactive in Montreal. And that tends to be a really, we tend to get a lot of traffic around our events. And it was really cool to see last year in 2020 that JavaScript Landia and just general blog traffic, we really, blew 2019 out of the water. So wanted to point that out. And generally speaking, just had a really good year with website traffic. The bottom top channels for 2019, you'll see that there was some cleanup happening around just foundation website stuff. So you'll see that foundation.nodejs.org was a redirecting link to our current website. So that kind of got all folded in. And you'll see that, as 2020, as we ended 2020, Node.js continued to be a big source of traffic for for the OpenJS site. But it was also cool to see some of our newer projects and some of our more historic projects as well kind of feed into the OpenJS Foundation traffic. Any questions about this slide? If none, we can move to the next. So Twitter, we had really great traction on Twitter this year. We ended the year at 94% positive sentiment, which is great. I think 90% is our goal always. And so to, hit a couple points above that was really fantastic. Moving over to the last period, again, we had really good sentiment, really positive sentiment over the last period. One of the miscategorized tweets was, again, I think there was something in there about imposter syndrome, which got flagged for the AI tool that tracks our sentiment. Any questions about Twitter? If nothing, we can move on to.
I was just going to point out, we did go quiet a little bit during the elections and things like that. So yeah.
Yes.
So it looks like, it's great to see the progress. Just fantastic.
Yeah.
Yeah, we are trying to be very thoughtful and intentional about when we speak and when we don't. And I think we'll continue. That seems to have worked well for us. Yeah.
Yeah, and it's great to see the numbers almost double over the last year. So.
Yeah, it was. I think I mentioned earlier, I had to double check some of this math just to ensure. So yeah, I was happy. If there's no other questions on Twitter, we do have LinkedIn and YouTube to kind of look at as well. LinkedIn continues to grow. I think going from 93 followers to, I think we're actually closer to 1,200 followers. That's really great to see. I think there's a lot of opportunity on LinkedIn when we're thinking about different audience types, business versus technical, things like that. And that's something for 2021 that we're really going to be diving into a little bit more. Any questions about LinkedIn? If none, we can hit the next slide, which is YouTube. On the left-hand side, I've done basically a year over year. Our YouTube channel is relatively new. I think we started it in April of 2019. And we've really used that channel, not just for our meetings, but also just to get out other helpful and relevant technical content, storytelling, things like that. And I'm really happy to see that I think that's really reflected in the views and the subscribers. So we're going to continue to use YouTube and video in that manner, and hopefully, continue to drive a lot of that engagement and growth. On the right-hand side, our last period was pretty similar to the previous one. So that was good that we didn't see a huge drop with the holidays or anything like that. I don't have it reflected here, but a lot of the content that tends to drive the most eyeballs are a lot of technical talks from our events. A lot of the projects, both within the foundation and outside of the foundation, drive a lot of these eyeballs. So it's cool to see content that might not be brand new is still very relevant and helpful to folks, and interesting to folks. And any questions on YouTube? I think that's my last slide. Yep, that's it.
Okay, great. Well, that brings us to the end of our content for today. Does anybody have anything they would like to add or any comments?
Yeah, just one thing. Just want to let everyone know that the call for speaker submissions is open for OpenJS World. So if you go to our website, you'll find links. And if you want to sponsor, we're offering that as a member benefit. So there's information as well on the membership sponsor prospectus. But yeah, speaker submissions are open through mid-February. So please send us some great ideas. We've got a great program committee.
Yeah, absolutely. And thank you for kicking off the year in a good way here, the entire staff. And I'm sure we're going to have a great 2021. You know, the world is changing, and I think things should get better for us all. And I thank you all for your support, and let's get out there and be part of the foundation. Everybody that can should join. So please join us. So thank you again. I think with that, I can call the foundation board meeting closed for this session.
Okay.